All right, so welcome to our team call for Monday, October 16th. For the Wildflower Tribe, we're just going to dive right in. It's kind of a shorter topic tonight, but a lot of questions that I'm hoping everyone can gain some insight and just some, I don't know, just some provoking questions to think about to sort of spice up our social media and to help us stand out. I don't know if anyone else is feeling this, but I sort of feel like I was talking to my friend about it today who is not involved in Beachbody whatsoever. But we were just talking about the fact that like it almost feels like we're sort of reaching this point where we're like, oh, I don't know if we want to be on social media all the time. But at the same time, we don't want to take a break, really. Like we don't know how to get off social media. It's like technology is an addiction, right? But so we're still interested in being on social media as a whole, right? As our age group is concerned. But I feel like more and more, it's important to be interesting. Like it's important to attract. It's important to change things up and to always have something new to offer. So that's sort of like where I was thinking about with this topic. And I guess too, I was thinking through just like what's kind of working for me right now. What I see working for other people. And, I've actually recently, this is so random, was following a girl who is now like a spiritual sort of coach, but I ended up going like back through and through all of her like Pinterest boards the other day, like creeping her like a sketch ball. And I realized that she started off as a Beachbody coach. She was also a Beachbody coach. I like saw these boards about Shakeology and fitness and stuff. And I just thought that was really interesting, but like she was a Beachbody coach. I reached out to her actually, and she's like still a Beachbody coach, but she's like, you would never tell. Like you could never, ever tell. It's like all mostly just like life coaching, spiritual coaching, but she does Beachbody as well. So it just really sort of got me thinking as to like those things that really attract your market, but in a new and interesting way. And we've heard this all the time. I don't know, did anyone listen to the wake up call this morning? Okay. So, I mean, we hear this all the time. It's just, like being able to really connect with your market in a way that is you and not Beachbody, like not the Shakeology selfies, not the normal fitness, like not the normal, like even meals anymore. Like, I mean, meals are, I feel like always good for people, but just like thinking beyond that. So, like I remember hearing this a long time ago is like, whatever your interests are, there are people there that also want to be healthy and fit and are looking for an additional income. So it's meeting the people where like it's looking to your interest, or reinventing is another thing I want to talk about, reinventing what maybe your interests are and reaching those people and helping them with their health and fitness. And it's those people that have those same like passionate interests that you might have that are going to be able to bring in a new and exciting element to their coach, if they become a coach, to their coaching businesses too, if that makes sense. So I wanted to start, and I had written on our team call tonight that the three sort of like subtopics were sharing your truth, reconnecting with your people, and reinventing yourself. So just I mostly really have just like questions to think about as you're sort of like. And I'm not saying that we all need to like really think about our social media and like totally revamp everything, but I just wanted to offer just some insight as to how maybe we could help how we could stand out and just be different when it comes to social media, because there are so many people, and you guys, I know I've seen it, especially on Instagram, that are coaches, or just like bloggers or into fitness or photography or whatever it is, and they're marketing their businesses online. And a lot of times you just have no idea what the hell they're even doing, because they just have this like cool brand. And it's like, you look at their stuff and you're like, wow, like, what is it? Like, what are there? Like I legitimately feel like I ask people all the time, like, what do you do? Are you a coach? Like, I actually don't know if they are a coach. And I think that even more so right now is such a good strategy, because again, you're connecting to people that have the same passions as you without it being just like the blanket, like health, fitness, like health and fitness, right? Like that's what we're not health and fitness. We are so much more than that, and connecting and reaching people where their hobbies are, where they align. So sharing your truth, the first thing, and I mean, this is sort of, most definitely the place where a lot of people are obviously the most uncomfortable, But I also feel like it's the place where we are able to really connect and offer people a chance to want to reach out to us and a chance to want to connect with us without feeling like we are pulling teeth, right? Like we never want to be the ones that are like, this is so awkward, but like, like what's your home life like? Or like, what are your mindset struggles? Or like, what is your emotional, but like everyone has something that's linked to health and fitness as a reason that they want to be healthy and fit. But like, it's those questions that are the uncomfortable ones to like dive into, but it's being able to have those conversations that are going to make people realize they can trust you and also really help them get results. Because if they can't dive into where the struggles are, where the vulnerable struggles are, then they're not going to be able to attach to like why they're really doing it. And it's going to be so much easier for them to quit and give up. So if we can connect with them at the root of why they're doing it by sharing ourselves, then they're going to be more likely to trust us, number one, but also to finish and get results and stick with it because they know like you've helped them figure out why they're doing it in the first place. So I'm going to ask those questions. Actually, this is like not part of the plan, but I ordered a book today. God, I just got the alert. I needed to share it with you. It was like so perfect. It was obviously coming through at this time. So I ordered this book today called The Coaching Habit. So crazy. I was just talking about this. It was obviously meant to be said. Hang on. What? I got to tell you guys the exact. Oh, right. Okay. I'll post it. The Coaching Habit. I think it says say more to talk less. It's like exactly what I was just talking about. But I'll double check the name of the book in a second, but it had really, really good reviews. So anyways, I just have to share that. So sharing your truth. Here's some questions to think about as you're talking. And again, like if you feel like your social media is boring or not, just think through these questions, maybe write some of them down, maybe figure out if there are ways that you could tweak it to appeal more to your people or to even bring more excitement to you. Like I have to be totally honest, for a long time, I was like, like who are my people? Like, am I talking to people I really want to talk to? Like everything on social media feels kind of lame. And that's because I wasn't exciting, like I wasn't learning new things. Like I wasn't challenging myself. I wasn't really being me. So of course I wasn't having conversations that I enjoyed. So if that's you and you're sort of in this like lull, again, like maybe this is something that you could do and like write out the answers so you could figure out where you could maybe shift to reach the right people for you and your business. So sharing your truth, things to think about. What are you afraid of people finding out about you? I saw someone post that question and I just thought it like was so powerful because for a long time, that's the shit that I hid. Like I didn't want anyone to know like, that I just continue to tell myself I'm going to eat healthy and then eat 2 handfuls at least of dark chocolate friggin' pumpkin seed bark that I just bought from Costco today, just like weird, like, and it doesn't have to be like obviously service level like that, but like whatever it is, like what's the shit that you're like, oh yeah, I told everyone I was going to do this, or like everyone thinks I'm XYZ. And like, I'm not talking about the past, right? Like think about the now. Like it's easier to be like, oh yeah, in college I was a super big party girl and I used to do drugs and like whatever. Like, I mean, it's not, I don't love admitting that, but like, it's easier for me to admit that in my past than to admit where I'm failing or making mistakes or taking back steps in the now. So like meet people where they are. Like, what are you afraid of telling people that you're doing right now in your life? What memories for you are the most painful? So this gets kind of deep, right? But like, this I feel like has helped me so much in my own journey, and it's helping me so much now connect to people that are like so ready to share with me. Like I had someone yesterday just message me out of the blue about addictions and ask me how I've been coping with it and what sort of like mindset things I've been focusing on. And I had actually just read this like whole super powerful thing about trust, but it's so cool when people are at that place where they're like, oh my gosh, like you're sharing all of this pain and I feel that and I'm going to come to you with like, help me. you know, like that is so much easier than like you digging it out of them, trying to connect with them, wondering if that's going to work. So what memories are the most painful for you? What makes you feel guilt, shame, regret? I mean, and again, like that could be super deep, that could not be super deep, but wherever people are afraid, if you haven't read The Gift of Imperfections, it is friggin' an amazing book. But people are so afraid to talk about the things that they regret, the things that they feel ashamed of, that they can't tell anyone, that they feel so guilty or resentful. That is like taboo. So if you can come and reach people in that place where they feel the same sort of guilt or shame or regret, you're going to see so much support, but also you're going to see people reaching out to you because you're moving through it, right? But that takes the second part I'm going to talk about. So what makes you feel guilt, shame, regret? What memories are the most painful? How does your past affect you now? Okay, so again, a pretty deep question, but as I feel like I'm really working through healing from some of my past mistakes and hurt and shame and pain, it is like, I mean, it's super powerful to see where I was, what happened, and like what's happening to me objectively. Like, how do you act? Why do you do that? Why are you afraid to open up? Why do you have so much fear that you're holding on to? Whatever that is, like whatever your experiences have shaped for you, what does that look like? How does your pain affect you and your personality in the now? And then how can you work through that pain? So what does that look like? And I'm sitting here telling you, like, I feel like it's easy. It's not easy. It is not easy to see what the root of the pain is. It is not easy to work through it. It is going to be hard. You're going to think you figured it out and you didn't. You're going to go backwards and sideways and like, it's a whole thing, right? But like, that's a part of it. And, you know, like sharing that, like, oh, I thought it was, you know, I really had a problem with my self-worth, but then I dug into this and then I realized this, but all along the whole way, you know, what has helped me is like having the community or having this personal growth where someone's like prompting me to think about it, or having my workout. So at least I'm doing something good for me and I'm trying to stay on that track and, you know, I'm moving backwards and sideways, but just being honest about the whole thing, how you're working through the pain. Because, and the next question is, how can the way you're working through your pain help others like you? Others like you with your pain to heal. So that kind of correlates to me with what your mission is. Like, we are not Beachbody, we are not Shakeology, we are not just fitness. Like, we all, you know, are going to have a team-wide mission, and we're all going to have an individual mission. And when we can align with what that mission is, we're going to really be able to, again, like really touch people's lives in a big way. And that's, again, like how they're going to get results and how they're going to stick on and how they're going to feel aligned to their why and keep going and get and feel their best. So think through what your pain is, how you're healing it, how you're going to help others. And that's probably going to help you come up with what your mission looks like that is bigger than just, I'm going to help people get, you know, lose 20 pounds. Does that make sense? I know that was like the super deep section of this. Okay. So then reconnecting with your people. So think through, okay. So I just said, learn how your past affects where you are now, right? So with that in mind, where you are now, where are your people? Like, have you grown? Have you grown through anything, any of that pain? Like, where are your people and as it relates to that healing process, right? Like, for example, for me, like my big thing obviously was like, I got pregnant when I knew my husband for 2 months, right? Like, I didn't know anything. I didn't want to have kids and wanted to like, I didn't know if I even was like, you know, in love. Sorry, husband. In love, but, you know, like I had to work through that because I was like, does he even love me? Is this like meant to be? Like, is this where, like, what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, how is this, you know, and that's where I was in this place that was like confusion, doubt, uncertainty. Like, I definitely wasn't confident. I was super insecure. So like being able to see where people were before they even started working on their growth at all, because a lot of people obviously are not working on growth at all. What did you feel? Okay, so then here's the thing that's, I think, really important to think about. What did you feel during your pain, right? Like when this all started, when your journey started, before you started working through it. Have you worked through it? Are you working through it? Are you growing? Are you getting uncomfortable? Are you doing the hard shit? Are you challenging yourself? Your old beliefs, your obstacles, your roadblocks, your limitations, your sense of worth, your discipline. Because if you're not working through it and you're just like acknowledging that like you're stuck, oh shit, I spilled water everywhere. If you're just acknowledging that you're stuck, or you're just acknowledging that you're in a rut, or just acknowledging that you're lonely, or like you can't snap out of it, or you don't know what your problem is, but like you're not doing anything about it, your people are fucking, sorry, your people are bored too. They are. You know, like if you're not doing it, if you're not getting uncomfortable, if you're not pushing yourself, why would they look to you and be like, holy shit, I need to follow that girl because she's stuck, you know, like she's not moving. She's not doing anything. And it sucks. Like, I mean, I have to be totally honest. That's why I've been like the biggest rut of my life for the past 2 months, because I've been like trying and like clawing my way out of this like weird hole. Finally, I feel like I've reached this like mountain of epiphany, but like it sucked. And that is all a part of it, right? But like being willing to work through the stuff that is hard and showing people that you are doing that has to happen. And if you're not doing, you know, I think in this business, it's super important that we're doing business growth, obviously, and learning how to run a business, but we also have to be doing the personal growth too, or else we're not going to be able to inspire people to make those big changes. Sorry. What are you doing? Yeah. Okay. So is your growth inspiring you? I don't know why, but that question just like gets me. Like, are you growing to a place where you're like, wow, I am super proud of how far I've come. Like I can look back and say like, I have personally, and again, like look at it on both sides, in a business sense and in a personal sense, I have grown tremendously and I am super proud of that. Like, can you say that? You know, and I'm not like, I think at different points in our businesses, we're going to grow faster in one area or the other. You know, like I would say personally right now, I'm like sprinting, but on a business sense, I'm like, okay, now it's time to shift gears maybe a little bit and like focus back into the business sense, which is why I invested in that social media training I'm about to dive into, right? So just making sure that there is a balance, like there's a personal growth that is inspiring to people so that they're feeling like they want to be mentored by you. And there is a business growth so that your business is expanding and growing and you're attracting the people that you want to have your business with. If not, why would you assume? Okay, if your growth isn't inspiring you, why would you assume that your growth would inspire others to want to make change too? And then, okay, reinventing yourself. So the last section. When was the last time, and we've talked about this before, and Sabina and Sarah, this is before you guys got on, but I was talking to Katie about it. I don't know how long ago that was, Katie. I feel like that was maybe a year ago that you went to that Super Saturday where you listened to Amy Silverman. Yeah. But she mentioned this a while back, and as I was making notes for this call, I realized it's sort of what I've done. And I made this post last night. It was just about the tarot cards. But like, holy shit, how many people responded that they wanted tarot card readings? And I haven't even written back to anyone yet. Like, it's like crazy. Does it take extra time to learn how to read tarot cards? Yeah, like it's been like exhausting, honestly. I'm like, oh my God, all these people want them. Like now I gotta like do my research and like, but I love it, you know? So when was the last time you took on a new interest or a way of doing something just because? Like, I know Amy Silverman mentioned at that Super Saturday that like she had tried different styles of eating to see like what worked best for her body, or Katie gave up coffee just because it was like a discipline, like it was something hard, it was something new, it was just something that could affect her mental space and potentially her physical space, but it's something that's going to challenge you. What skill, hobby, lifestyle, or passion are you developing? So like, who cares what it is? Like, there's another thing that I actually really want to do is like, I'm going to go to Crystal Park again tomorrow, but like you go and collect crystals, and I want to make jewelry. I don't know how to make jewelry. I literally have no clue how to make jewelry. I go into the store and I freak out because I look around at everything and I'm like, oh my God, it's too much. I don't even know where to start. Like, bye. And I every time go to the jewelry store and leave with nothing. But like, who cares? If it's an interest of yours, then like, do it, because I guarantee you that you're going to find, and again, this circles back to what we were talking about in the beginning, like no matter if it's making weird crystal jewelry or tarot cards or whatever it is, like those people still want to get healthy and fit too. So you're reaching and connecting on a level that's different from health and fitness, totally different, but like you have that common bond, especially if it's something weird, honestly. Like I feel like the weirder the better, right? Like, because then you're like so stoked that other people have this random interest like you do. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it makes it hard, but I think we all have to look at it like this is a piece of our business. Like this is almost investing in our business, you know, like, and if investing in your business means finding a passion that is like something you've always wanted to do, then is that the worst thing in the world? You know, like, yes, it takes time, but it is also a business building behavior. And when I feel like when I plan out my day, I mean, I definitely realize now that I have a lot less time because I'm doing other random things. At the same time, I feel like it is working in my favor. Just like last year, I went through like a weird funk where I wasn't feeling very creative. And I made it a point every day, literally put it on my calendar to go for a walk outside. Like, and that was something that just reset me. Like it was making my business better. So if it's a new passion or a hobby or a topic that you're interested in and you're learning about, you have to think of it like it is not a waste of your time. It is actually doing something productive for your business and yourself, right? And your mindset. It's clearing your mind. So yes, time makes it hard. People need to see us as interesting, to be attracted to us, the new things, exciting. What can you teach people? And again, like by learning something that's new for you and sharing all that you're learning along the way, these are also things that you could just like open up a community about, right? Like I'm going to open up a tarot cards community because like, why not? Look at all those people. You know, like I'll probably add people. We could talk about it. Like it'll be cool. Like Stephanie Davies. I don't know if any of you guys follow her. She has a spiritual seeking community that she opened up. She's like one of the top coaches, and it's like there are like 1,000 people in it now. And I mean, it's nothing to do with health and fitness, but like she'll talk about crystals and like, I don't know, like different spiritual books and some tarot card stuff and just connection, and she'll go live in there. And like, she never talks about health and fitness, but that's a place that she's building relationships. So if you're having this interest, you're growing it, you're opening this community, it's not like a free group as in like fitness, but it's a free group as in a place where you can foster relationships and connect with people that have this other interest too. What can you teach? What can you bond over with new people? What's something that you say, I know you guys must have this too. I have like 1 million, but like I see something and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to do that. Or I've always wanted to learn that. I've always wished I knew how to XYZ. Like whatever that is, just pick something and go for it. Like, I mean, I'm so guilty of saying I've always wanted to run a half marathon. Like what's holding me back? It's really not even that big of a thing, I'm sure, for me at this point, you know, like, so whatever that is, like pick something and then just do it. So I should probably just take my own advice and like sign up for one of those, because that's even pretty easy thing to do. But yeah, that's really all I had planned. I guess the timing's actually made pretty perfect. I knew it was going to be shorter than normal, but if you guys have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer them. I just think, you know, I wanted to just go over these things because I feel like it's really easy to feel like things are getting stale in this business. And I wanted to help everyone kind of bring some life back into it, and then bring in people they're really excited to talk to. And, it's not just like, it's really easy. And I think for me, I was so guilty for a long time. I was like, oh, my people are moms. And now I'm like, my people aren't moms. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm a mom, and like, yeah, some of my people are moms, but like, not all of my people are moms by any means, Yeah, Sarah, how crazy. Sarah Mack's actually the only one on this call that is a mom. Like, that's, so just think through connect with people on all the random stuff, all the things that are super weird about you. Like, make a list of things that are weird. Actually, the other night when I went out, someone called me crazy. To be fair, I was acting crazy. But I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Like, I am actually a little bit crazy. That's fine. But like, what is crazy about me? Like, what is it? Like, I really love horoscopes. Like, I really believe in like these like weird, like astrological videos, just like all of this random stuff that makes me weird and crazy. Like, own whatever it is that like normally you would be like, I don't like that. Like for me, I've always hated when people call me a mess or like unorganized. Like, I hate it more than anything. That's like my word, crazy and mess, right? So like, whatever those words are for you, like just brainstorm on what that means, and then go, own it. Like, that's part of living your authentic self and being and in your power, right? Like, that is your power. Anyway, so I'll stop going on my rant, but if anyone has any questions, let me know. I know. Well, later it turns out that I was like just begging this person to tell me I was crazy like 4 times in a row, to the point that he was like, fine, you're crazy. And I was like, well, I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but okay. It's a long story.
What was the situation? Now I'm curious.
It was mostly just like too many drinks. That's really it. What was the question? Sorry. What was the book name? Oh, okay. So there were 2. Are you talking about the Brene Brown one or the coaching one? Or both? So the Brene Brown one is called The Gift of Imperfections, and that one's on vulnerability and shame. It's so good. And then, go ahead.
Wait, I read one of her books recently. I forget the name of it, but it was definitely a lot about like shame and stuff too. Is it repetitive?
Honestly, I didn't like. I hope I like this one more, but I didn't love her other ones. Like,
yeah, the one that I read from her, it was good, but it was so redundant.
Daring Greatly.
Yes, Daring Greatly.
I was gonna say, I bet it was Daring Greatly. I didn't like that one either.
Yeah. So, did you like the one you read, or you were gonna read it?
Gifts of Imperfections is awesome.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Daring Greatly like really disappointed me, especially after reading The Gift of Imperfections, for sure.
She has a TED Talk too that's really awesome.
Yeah, her TED Talk is good.
There's another one. I actually don't think it's a TED Talk. I think it was an interview with Marie Forleo. And so in her book, I guess she came up with this acronym for trust, which is BRAVE. And that's what the talk is about. But it is like really, I actually saw it in this random girl's Instagram profile and clicked on it. And then I had heard something about it even the next day on a podcast. But yeah, that talk was really, really good too. I think it's an interview with Marie Forleo. And then the other book that I just ordered is called The Coaching Habit, Say Less. Oh no, okay, wait. That might be more, well, I mean, and like leadership really applies too to like the people that we're attracting. So like this book is called The Coaching Habit, Say Less, Ask More, and Change the Way You Lead Forever. I mean, and yes, it's probably going to apply more to like the team, but at the same time, like we're coaching and leading people that are joining us too. So thinking of it in that way, I think is really useful as we're starting out. Does anyone else have any thoughts or questions about any of that? Or like, does that make sense? Or do you feel like that was helpful? Like, have you been feeling kind of in that place? Okay. I feel like Katie, it might have helped you. I feel like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I felt like I was there too, where it's just like, oh, everything's just getting lame, you know? And like, then I started realizing, like, as I was seeing what was bringing it to life, like what was happening, and and like going back to even like you were super helpful in recognizing this because of like what we went through before, you know? And sometimes it's cyclical where you're like, and you know, I was thinking through even like talking to Haley Christian at Summit and like Candace Rogers, like they always talk about like how even they like change their hair color or whatever, like that is way different, but it's something that's new. Like it brings people back to look at you and attracts people to you.
I like the idea too of finding something totally unrelated just to get a conversation going with people. So like I was thinking about taking a pottery class. Be a
Right.
good thing. Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, exactly. And then like
Yeah.
there's so many pottery groups, like you know, like
Right.
people that are learning how to do it that have no idea. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
I really need to keep posting out of the brewery just because I'm in charge of social media for the brewery. Is there a thing I can do to post to sort of relate to people? Clearly, there's not going to be a lot of people that have opened a brewery before, but that like can be more relatable to people in some way with that.
I mean, what about even just like the beers? Like, are you learning about brewing beers? Like, I feel like that's huge.
I mean, I like learn a little bit. I can't like hold a conversation with someone about brewing beer.
Yeah, but like, what if you could? Like, what if you were like, wow, here's the beer I'm learning about today, or like this week, or whatever, and like you're gonna have 25 beers on tap. Like, that's freaking crazy. So, like, helping like people, everyone loves good beer. I mean, a lot of people love good beer. So,
Except for me, I don't even drink beer.
is that? Oh my God, what if you were like
Sarah, just send it to me. I'll drink it for you.
Okay. I will sip it, but I don't like beer. So
what if you were like something like the fitness, not brewery, non-beer? I don't know. Like just like think of
I don't want to tell people on social media that I don't drink beer because I don't want people to be like, I don't drink beer either. I'll come to your brewery, but like I want people to drink beer that are coming. So
well, Ryan and I
once we start making sake there, then I'll tell people about how I don't really drink beer and I like sake. That's no problem, but we don't have sake yet. So
I don't know. I think just like talking about the beer brewing process and like everything you're learning, and even like the beers and tones and like what's in, I don't know, like maybe like, I don't know. I think that would be a huge thing. Like talking to Gus or doing some sort of Q&A. I don't know. I mean, I think you have a lot of room to do some brainstorming on that for sure. Like that is, there are not a lot of people opening up a brewery, but there are a lot of people that like beer, you know? So
beer and health.
Like craft
beers, you need to get healthy.
Maybe like a craft beer group where like, you know, like Portland, that is a huge scene where it's like